What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira, and I thought we could let me move this over a little bit. I thought we could do a little back testing while we're waiting on this Ethereum merge. So whatever you're doing out here, you know, be safe, uh, and don't go too crazy. Wait for the merge to finish, okay? Before jumping into any trades. Let me clean this up a little bit here. I figured we'd do a little back testing. So I'm just gonna honestly roll this back by 12 hours, clean that up a little bit, and then I'm just gonna drag the replay button and to pretty much anywhere and then figure out how to trade it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just make that one day. Yeah, and then just figure out if I could have done something. Bam. Just back. Just back. All right, so let's see. What do we have here? First things first, as always, take a look at your high-level trends. So it looks like I've let me move this over here. Marked out two areas. Let's just make sure we've got them sorted out. So I'm gonna get as many touches as we can for these to make sense and not too much overlap if we can manage it. All right, let's see what we're looking at. So let's remove this one. Let's remove this one for the moment. All right, so that guy. Drawing these trend lines can be, you know what, let's silence everything else in here while we're doing this high level stuff, right? Because it can really get in the way, you know? All right, so, and yeah, let's silence everything. All right, let's see if we can't get this drawn properly. So, let's get as many touches as we can on this puppy. Let's see, would these be better? How about these guys right here? Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we've got a touch, almost touch, false breakout, nice touch there, a bunch of awesome options, nice dual touch there. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so we're on a nice little downtrend, it looks like, on the daily. And it looks like we've got a strong breakaway from that. So, and where was this? This is April, this is March. Oh, we're all the way back to March to see how we could have traded this. All right, let's see. Do we have anything else exciting going on here? Let's draw another trend line. Oh, look, there was this is marking that breakout on the daily. It's pretty nice. Could have waited for that one to close for a longer term trade, right? And then entered at the start of this trade and continue up. I'm gonna add in the imbalance finder here on the daily just to see what juiciness is hanging out, things that we can eat, or the market maker price imbalances in the price. So let's come up here. So we have this juicy imbalance up here, and let's mark that out. And that's an imbalance on the daily. I can't type, so don't tell nobody. Cool. So price has been bouncing along quite merrily on this thing. And you know what? I'm going to also mark out this second level just for funsies since it did bounce off of it. Maybe as a second layer of awesomeness, just to know where it needs to break out from for me to actually believe it's a real one, right? So from that guy, we had one, and let me just make sure. Tilt that down some more. All right. So we had what looks like two good touches on the daily before it retreated, and it hasn't broken past it again until now. And look, it broke past the first main resistance, and then it broke past the second. It looks like it's using the second one as support. Okay, so that makes me feel like this breakout might be something useful. Now, let's jump into lower time frames and see if we can see anything interesting, right? Let's go in the 4 hour. Oof, that's ugly. Do that. uh, you know, I'm finding that this replay thing, data point unavailable. We have horizontal data for this resolution. We don't have data. Oh, that's what's happening. Okay, can I go for that much back? Oh, come on, replay. Are we serious? You can't give me what I need? Okay, so let's just do this on the daily for back testing. And have they kicked me out of my replay? Yep, great. All right, sorry guys. But anyway, so obviously, let me stick us back over here and stick us back to our breakout area here that we just marked. We were planning on playing. All right, so let's do this on the daily time frame, right? So we have this lovely squeezing on the daily, and I think there's a request for a longer term trade. So let's make this that, right? Like we're testing this out, see how this would work out. Do we have any price action or chart pattern or, pretty much anything that tells me that it's going to go up besides this breakout, right? So I'm going to add in the moving averages, right? So, I'm trying to work out whether or not I believe in these moving averages and how they play out. So right now we were trading below the 50, had a bit of a small breakout to this resistance, and then continued on below. So now we've closed above the 50, and then the 200 is up here. So and it looks like, for these breakouts, I'm expecting a retest of the um, of the of this new support, right? So it broke out, it's come back down. Let's see a little bit more price action, if there's anything that will give me some feeling of, all right, cool. So what do we have? So the next day we have another green candle. It looks like the bulls rolled it up. Bears are like, and then the bears are like, well, I want to go, and the bulls are like, So it's still a higher green candle than this, but it does tell me that we're moving away from this area. So what if we were to enter into a long at the start of the next candle, right? So let's let that play out and see what we could have done here. So let me do that. And all right. So let's say we entered into a long at this candle right here. And guys, this is kind of interesting because I want to make sure that our stop loss is in a decent place, right? So basically below this area of support now, right? So and definitely below the 50. So right now the 50 is at 27.9, and I want to show you guys a quick trick, right? Where if you add the average true range, let's do this. Okay, if you take a look at the average true range at the time of the breakout, it's at about, what's that? 159 on this candle that we want to enter on, right? 159.79. So so you don't get stop loss hunted. Here's an example. Here's a thought, right? You have a couple of options depending on what your take profit is going to be, and honestly, I'm going to aim for this juicy imbalance here as my take profit. That would be like 25% on the daily. Man, I really need to try trading these higher time frames. The return is much bigger. Anyway, so 25% there, and then if I were to set my stop loss, I would try and get it under this resistance. So the 50 and crossing it was like 27.62. 27.62. So then I would go ahead and subtract where this meets right here, the ATR at the time of this candle that I'm trying to interact, right? So we hover over it, it's at 159.73. So, um, sorry, my calculator's acting silly. And I'm not good at typing things. So let me go back in here and check it. 2769, 2769.48 minus the ATR, 162.91. And that's over in the corner here. You can see it changing as we switch over. But, you know, and then my stop loss would be at 2606. So let's set that up. 2606 approximately. Okay. 2606.57, but you know, approximate. So that's a 12.3% per this tool with a 25% gain. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that big of a loss. You know, honestly, I might close up down here, but remember, there's always the opportunity for them to come back and retest this space. All right, so let's see how that played out on the daily. All right. Now there's the distinct possibility that it could hit this 200, which is more useful on the daily, weekly time frames, and then bounce back down, right? Ooh, juicy. Ooh, we touched it. Oh, red candle. I don't know. It might just be, you know, touching that imbalance and then saying, you know what, I'm not gonna eat it. Oh, hey, that's looking a lot nicer. All right, coming into that imbalance to eat some of that. Ooh. And now it looks like we're starting. Oh, hell no. All right, pause. So I don't know. Once I see this red candle here, that would make me super nervous, right? Because it's pretty rough. And at this point, you've got, let's, let's scroll back down to where it hangs out. That's a 7% gain. And so far, if we'd taken our profits, that would have been 19%. Now, the thing about taking profits, right, just because you think it's going to go somewhere doesn't mean it's actually going to go somewhere, right? But so if you see some thing that confirms like some sort of like reversal, whether that be a bearish engulfing candle or hammer in the opposite direction, or it's hit some sort of resistance, in which case right now we don't have anything. It's the sky's the limit right now, right? The only thing that they have going for them right now is this juicy imbalance that they want to come back and correct, and then that imbalance, and then so on and so forth. So if we chosen, since we're in profit and we're hoping that we're going to continue, I don't know, guys, like, tell me in the comments, like, look at, zooming for a second, look at the candle dispersions up here, right? So there's a lot of wicks, a lot of wicks. We got this red candle. It sort of engulfed this guy, and then this green hammer candle, and then it definitely got subsumed by this giant candle. So, I don't know, smart money. Oh, but wait, sorry, I just recognized there is, and they've already eaten most of this when they pop down. There's this imbalance here and here. So maybe they're just coming to fuel up from down here and then go back up. So two choices, right? Depending on your risk and money management. You could say, hey, for these imbalances, maybe I'll take, half of it, right? And then if I see some reversal, then get out. So then this reversal candle here, this bearish engulfing candle, let me use this tool. I very rarely use it, but let me use the brush. So if you see this in bearish engulfing candle right here, you might be like, well, maybe it's time to get out of this trade and take my profits, right? But, or take partial profits. That's a good idea, right? Like, so maybe exit half of your position here and then see what happens with the rest of the trade, and then maybe if it's properly reversing against you, take the rest in some profit, and then at least you're in a good space. Anyway, so let's say we did that. Let's say we took half of our profits on this candle right here, right? because um, we saw this engulfing candle and we don't trust it. But we still want to see if we can make it to our actual profit, our actual goal, which is this entire imbalance. So let's press play and see how that plays out. Oof. Broke below the 200. Oof. I don't know. Currently with these candles, I'm oof, definitely. Whoa. Pause. All right. So honestly, I'd be really happy that we took some profits up here and took that out of the thing, and then off the table in my pocket, happy. But this action here is, whew, it's terrifying. Let's see how it played out. I don't know, honestly, not a clue. But that candle is making me nervous. Ah, looks like we're turning around. Oof. Well, this pattern is sort of telling me we're back on a downtrend, you know? So honestly, I'm seeing this other bearish engulfing candle, and like we're back at our entry space, right? So I mean, it might be a good idea to try and just break even on the other half here and exit and then find another means of getting in. And this is for like your, because remember, we came in on this candle. So we've on that half that's left, we saw a little red here, a little red here, and it's above it right now. So I don't know, I might wait to see. And again, here's another bearish engulfing candle just like slapping me in the face, right? So honestly, for me, I would just, break even on this and just exit. And I'm not very good yet at doing partial profits. I would have just taken this whole thing up here. But that's technically would be your best options if you wanted to see if it was going to keep going. Now, of course, as you're doing these trades, you would be taking a look at the news and seeing if there's any kind of catalyst, because there could have been a catalyst for this, this reversal. So, I mean, all right. So let's say we exited here. Let's see how it continued playing out, and maybe I'm wrong because it's oof, definitely not wrong. Wow. Oof, coming back up again. Man, this is psychologically hard to watch, like it is stressful. It is so stressful to watch this. Wow. Wow. I think I would have been happy exiting and taking my profits from up here. Oh, look. Wow. Oof. Oof. See, I don't have the stomach yet. Because look how it's curling downwards. It's down, consolidate, down, consolidate, down, consolidate, down, probably consolidate. Yeah. So what have we learned? Okay. Let me switch that back to that. So what have we learned? And let's clear out the riffraff. So we had a nice downward trend, and we saw a very nice breakout here. And then, and please, for the love of everything, don't just trade any old breakouts, right? Make sure that it's a nice juicy one after like a decent consolidation. And you see, oh my God, look at all these doji like candles. Like there was so much fighting about price, but they couldn't quite break it lower, right? And then we've got these consistent green candles breaking through with gusto, these two downward sloping channels. So once you've got confirmation of that break, wait for a retest, okay? Wait for it because it's going to come. Wait for that retest, and then once that retest has happened and you see there's a candle closing above the consolidation area, that's probably a good place to enter into that long, which is what we did here. Like we saw this candle close above it and then entered at the beginning of this candle. Boom. Beautiful. But guys, oh my God, the nail biting, the sheer nail biting of having to watch a long-term trade really does give me hives. Anyway, um, I think that's pretty good for a bit of a back test for on Ethereum. I'm trying to like step away from Bitcoin and get a better idea of how some of these other coins trade. And I'm finding that I really like the way that Ethereum moves. Like she's pretty nice. She's pretty nice in terms of her action. So before I sign off here, let's go take a quick gander at what she's doing right now on the 15 minute. Oh, yay! Beautiful. So, I was tracking this bull flag, and I was estimating that it would hit somewhere up here. It looks like it got about halfway up. You know what? And there is a lovely imbalance for them to like dive into, and it looks like, I don't know, maybe we're doing um you know retrace and continuation, which is what I drew out here, if you can see with the white trending lines. So with the merge coming, be careful. There's a lot of yumminess up here for them to eat. So get ready for that awesomeness. And honestly, you could ride this up to, I've heard folks talking about like, you know, 2100 or whatever. So let's see what's up there to be eaten, right? So we're all the way down here. We have this juicy break, and we're slowly curling back up. It's looking kind of sideways on the 4 hours. Look at that. Yeah, we haven't even like broke over anything exciting. So I probably say, you know, once it consolidates over the 200, if you're using the moving averages, then go for it. Honestly, if I had time and I've been paying attention, I would have taken a long on the 15 minute, just because I was waiting all day for it. But sadly, my day job decided to do its thing. So now from this breakout area here, it's on the 15. Sometimes I go to the 5 just to see what the smaller candles are doing. So here's another beautiful example, right? So we were trading below the 50, broke above it, stayed above it, and let me check the downchain channel. Oh, and look, we even broke above the center line for the channel, which is another bullish, I think, uh, another bullish sign. And we stayed above it, but then the best thing to do would be wait to see if it could break and stabilize above the 50, which it did. So this candle closed above it, this candle, then you could have honestly entered into a long from here. But, like I'm saying, like if you're, I, I don't trust, I don't trust these things, right? They tend to like to break down first. And I was watching it all day. I was like, yeah, I'm waiting for them to come down, try and stop hunt some folks, which by the way, did you see this candle? Whoa, look at that juicy long stop hunt for all the folks who are getting ready to take longs on this breakout. They stop hunted the heck out of them. Let's see. I'm curious because I'm talking about this whole ATR thing and utilizing it to set your stop loss. So, and it's not a perfect science. So, if you'd seen, and let's bring this back to the 15. I like the higher time frames to trade it, to work with. All right, so if you're seeing this action is coming down to this lower level, right? I, honestly, I don't know if I would have taken anything with this break below, because I don't trust it. But let's say I saw this break and I wanted to enter into a long coming back up, because I'm thinking, because of the merge, there's going to be a lot of buying pressure if it is positive and everything works, right? So I'm thinking to myself, maybe I want to, enter in on the next, candle confirmation, maybe here. But then at the time, I'm thinking my lows are here. What's that? 1564. So 1564, let me get exact numbers, 37, dot 37. And the ATR on this candle was 1128. Okay, minus 1128 for my stop loss. So then my stop loss would have been 1553.09. So 1553. Oh, 9. Yeah, so I would have been stopped out as well. Well, just I want to show you that too because it's not an exact science. And, honestly, if you see a break like this out of the channel, wait. Wait until they get back into the channel and then set your stop loss after that because this is that stop hunt BS, right? What do they call it now? Um, what's this? We're calling this the consolidation. Um, this is that manipulation. And I learned this from Me Kaplan, and I'll put a link to his price action. So, and then finally, the true direction. Beautiful. Look at that. It's crazy. So be careful. Whenever you see these breakouts and there's flags attached to it, wait. Wait for confirmation. I know it's hard. I know we're itching. We're itching to touch that buy or sell button long or short it. But guys, if you want to take money from the market maker instead of being liquidity for them, then we've got to learn that patience because that's something I'm working out. I'm working on that patience hard. So um, that's basically what I wanted to share for today from a backtesting perspective. If you're trading this uptrend and you're seeing this pullback here, honestly, let's see. I'm gonna put this on the 5 minute. For like an entry, I would wait. So this pullback's here. I'd wait for it to break over this top level, and then the next candle that confirms that break, you can probably take your long from there because we're on an uptrend. But be careful, right? Make sure your stop loss is at least below here plus whatever the ATR is, as an example. And there's the 50. Yeah, the 50's curling up, so even below that, and that's and that's thing. And the other thing is you could do as well if you're using the Donchian channel is set your stop loss all the way down here below it. But that hurts my heart. Like if I were to enter here, what is that? I don't know if I think that's right. That's 1607. No, if that's 1%, I'll eat my hat. 1.19%. I don't trust that. But anyway. All right, guys. Remember, everything here is just for teaching purposes or learning purposes. If I'm being honest, because I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out too. So I'm trying to apply all the things I've learned to see if they make sense and if they work for me, so that I can keep honing my trading process and algorithm. All right, guys. So let me know in the comments down below if you had any thoughts about these longer term potential trades. They are more secure, I think. Higher time frame trades, bigger risk, bigger rewards. Um, and you've got to have a lot of patience because you got to wait literal days, maybe even weeks for it to play out properly. I guess, yeah, for sure. All right, guys, that's it for me. This is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. This is just me showing you what I'm learning, and I'm back testing. I'm just going to keep doing these vids over and over again because I need to practice and practice and practice until I start to understand what I'm looking at. I'm understanding potential price movements because the past can help us figure out what they're going to do in the future and then, stop us from losing our monies, right? Our muns. We're here to make money, not to lose the money. But guess what? You can't have 100% wins, but you could have 100% loss if you don't know what the heck you're doing. So, trade responsibly. Ooh, words are hard at this time of night. What, 7:39 on a Wednesday? A few hours from the ETH merge. So, trade responsibly, be safe. Let's try and take that money from that market maker. But before you do it, before you commit that big amounts of money, make sure you have a good trading algorithm, your good process for getting out, in and out, your entries, your exits, your stop loss. All right, cool. All right, this one's coming to an end. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm gonna go find some din dins because I'm starving. All right, Shakira, out.